Hey there, yoga friends. Jen here. Thank you for joining me again. Today's class, the third part in a series called Awakening Gentle Awareness. Today's postures: a gentle heart opener, forward fold, side bend, and legs up over the head. All of this to give you a gentle sense of uplifting and opening. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Let's get started. For today's practice, you're going to need a couple of props. You're going to need a block, a blanket, and a bolster. Now we're going to get right into it, and we're going to start with the bolster. So we're going to go ahead and take the block, pointing up towards the ceiling here. And we're going to take our bolster, and we're going to lay it up against that, kind of like a little bit of a balancing act. And in this way, we're creating a bit of a chair, right? So we're going to take our hips here up against the back of the bolster so that the hips here are touching. And we're going to ease the body down and over the bolster. Oh, and it just feels so lovely here. Now, this is one most people really enjoy. And if you are amongst that majority of people, just settle right in. You may want to use your blanket here to support your neck if it feels slightly uncomfortable. You don't want to have any gaps here between your back and the bolster. If you do notice, though, that it is uncomfortable for your legs, there are a couple of different variations you can take. Right now I'm in Supta Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet touching and the knees wide. You can, though, as an alternative, take the soles of the feet to the floor and point the knees to the ceiling, or even extend the legs away from you. And if you choose this leg extension, you can prop up another bolster or perhaps a blanket underneath your knees, should you like. But I'm going to take the wide-legged variation. So you bring the soles of the feet to touch, drop the knees wide, turn your palms here up towards the ceiling, and gently close your eyes. We're going to move right into that yogic breath. So we'll drop our awareness onto the rhythm of our breath. Start to deepen the breath cycle here at the abdominals, allowing the diaphragm to move further down and fill up through the bottom of the lungs, filling up through the side ribs, the front, the back of the chest. Sense of ease and softening here, the face, the jaw. Allow your shoulders to drop down over your bolster. We're going to go ahead and take 12 really nice, smooth, soft breaths here. Whenever your mind wanders away from your breath, friends, don't worry. Without judgment, just drop back to the breath and see if you can soften here. Halfway now through this posture, remember, if you would like to hold these longer, you're more than welcome. But for this video, we're just going to be taking the 12 breaths and moving on. It's something that you may be able to practice later on, or just by pausing the video and coming back to it when you're ready. We'll take another 2 or 3 breaths here. To release from this one, it's really important that you turn your palms down. We'll engage through the core and lift the knees up towards the ceiling here. Now draw your elbows in and we'll press down through the forearms and the hands with the navel drawn back to come into our seat to sit tall. So we're just going to come to sit here onto the mat. We're going to release the bolster, take the block off to the side. I'm going to take my blanket now and place it just behind me. so that I can squish back with my hips and just get my sit bones firmly settled on the edge. And again, that just assists in that natural S curve of your spine. We're going to keep the legs out here in front of us. If you if you have lower back injury or pain, you can keep your knees bent and even take your bolster here underneath your knees, right? So that's just going to give you, particularly if you have tight hamstrings, it's going to take the stress off the legs and let you come into a little bit of a more relaxed forward fold. So one option here, we always start with this nice tall spine, is just to fold forward, allowing the spine to C-spine. So allowing the chin to sort of curl in, tucking the chin towards the sternum, and just folding over the palms, just passive here on the floor. Another option that you may want to take here is just to have the legs straight and take the bolster on top of the thighs to rest the forearms or the elbows onto. And we're just going to rest here in this posture for the next 10 breaths. Really finding that length here for the back of the body. So in that first posture, we're opening up through the heart and the shoulders. And in this one, we're freeing up space for the lower spine and really just allowing the body to relax and use gravity to its full advantage here. No sense of effort here. Just allowing your body to ease and mold into this forward folding shape. Halfway through this posture again, if it feels fabulous for you and you want to stay here longer, by all means, friends, please do so. Honor that. And simply pause and come back to the video. If you're ready to move on though, with one last deep nurturing breath in and one last soft exhalation here, we start to draw the hands back near the thighs, press the palms into the floor or the bolster to raise up through the spine to sit tall. We'll take the legs from over the bolster. We're going to come to sitting on our left side. So I have my knees pointing to that long edge of the mat. I'm not sitting on either one of my heels. But for this one, this twist of the torso, we're going to lengthen the bolster here so that it's vertical on the mat. And what we're going to do here is square our shoulders to the front edge of that mat. Press down with your fingertips here. Press down into that left hip. Find length for the right and left sides of the torso here. Maintaining that, we walk the hands forward and lay the body down over the bolster. Now the forearms come to the floor. And you can turn your face here either to the right or the left, whichever feels best for you. But what I want you to do once you're here is really draw those shoulders towards your hips so they're not up around your ears. And we have this twist here, gentle twist for the spine. Really nice to apply a little bit of this pressure here into the organs of the body. Helps rejuvenate, refresh them. Now it's always nice to turn your head in the opposite direction of your knees, as this provides a full twist for the whole spine. And again, we're going to hold this one for another 8 breaths. And you may find it a bit more difficult to take that deep yogic breath here in the twist, and that's perfectly normal. What I want you to do is really accentuate your breath Really see if you can bring it into those lower abdominals and the side ribs, feeling the length, feeling the spine twist and lengthen at the same time. And as you exhale, just see if you can soften a little bit more deeply into the bolster. Halfway through this posture now. So again, friends, you can stay here, pause the video, turn it back on when you're ready. If you're ready to move on, to glide your hands back in line with your shoulders. Press down actively with the hands to support the torso to a seat. We're going to swing our legs out in front of us. And we're just going to swap sides. So we're going to take our props here to the other side of the mat. Line the bolster up here so that it's running vertically. Take the knees to point to that long edge of your mat. Right hip up alongside the bolster. And we'll take a moment here to lengthen up through the spine. Take your fingertips either side of the bolster, square your shoulders to the front. With a nice tall breath in, we walk the hands forward and lay the spine down and over the bolster again. So once you're there, just checking in, make sure you draw your shoulders away from your ears. We're going to come into 8 of those really nice, deep, nurturing breaths. And again, you want to turn your gaze away from your knees if that feels okay for your neck. And if it doesn't feel okay for your neck, it's perfectly fine to keep your head in the same direction of your knees. You want to feel a bit of a twist here and a stretch for the body without overdoing it. So just coming into this variation to the point where it feels best for you. Halfway through this variation of the posture. I love that this one feels so nice for my lower spine. And the longer you hold these, the more gravity works and the body relaxes. So if you feel like staying here longer, friends, please do so. Otherwise, another breath or two. Take your hands back here in line with your shoulders to release. Press down firmly through the palms to raise the torso. And we come back into center. Now, before we come into our final posture, we're just going to release the neck a little bit. So come into your tall seat if you want. You can sit onto your blanket. And all we're going to do here is just drop the chin down towards the sternum. Soften the jaw, part the teeth. And just turn the head gently from right to left. Bring your head to the center, let it hang. Raise the gaze. Then we're going to imagine that we have a crayon on the tip of our nose. And we're just going to draw a circle in the room around us, right in front of us. And then change the direction of your circle here. It's just a really nice one to free up the neck without going too deep. You can make these circles as big or as small as feels appropriate for you. Make this the last one. And take the gaze forward, and we soften the jaw. Give it a bit of a wiggle. Give the body a little bit of a wiggle. And then we're going to move into our last posture. So this last one is really nice. We've opened the body up with a forward fold, also with a heart opener. And this one is for the back, particularly the lower spine. So what I'm going to get you to do is just to come and sit on top of the bolster. And once you're here, you can take the hands behind you. You want to have the hip girdle supported, so the back of the hip girdle, which is a little bit lower than the lower back, right where the sacrum is. And a good way to gauge that is where your hips are, the bony parts of your hips. The bolster's right behind you. I'm using the blanket here behind my head for a little added support. If you are using something on your head, make sure that your head is not higher than your shoulders. You want to have your chin parallel to your sternum just to relax the neck and come into that sense of deep relaxation. So for this one, we're going to take one knee at a time in towards the chest and raise the feet up towards the ceiling. There should be no effort here through the front or the back of the body. The hands can rest on the top of the bolster or on the floor next to you, turning the palms to the ceiling, or down is perfectly fine, whichever works for you. I've got my heater on today because it's cold here in Australia, and my toes are getting nice and warm. I'm loving this. So friends, we just get you to close your eyes and really return to that mindful breath of letting go of whatever is not serving you. Releasing any tension within the body with the attention of your breath and intention. And we'll hold this posture just for 2 minutes or so. That's about 12 of your own breaths if you'd like to count. Halfway through here, draw the mind back to the smooth, subtle quality of your breath. Remembering that you can hold this one for as long as you like, creating that sense of softness throughout your body. To release, we're just going to hug those knees into our chest and then lower the feet here to the floor. Press down through the soles of the feet. Move the bolster to the right or the left. And we're just going to roll over here into a cuddle. And slowly make our way back to our seat. Thank you, friends, for joining me today. If you've enjoyed the video, please remember to subscribe and tell a friend. especially if you have a friend who's suffering from any sort of chronic pain. That would be lovely for them. I hope you have a lovely day. Take care.